Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, it's a beautiful summer day here in Bentry. Oops. Miguel, I guess we skipped the spring meeting, eh? Yes. Well, he'll have his presentation later this year, and he'll catch us up. It's a beautiful day. Thanks. Welcome to the Lake and Wildlife meeting. We'll have some great things and achievements and things going on here at Lake and Wildlife. You'll be very interested today, and we'll start this thing going. Anybody notice anything different?
No? Yes. Habitat. Logo. Down to the bottom.
We've updated the logo, and thanks to Teresa Hoppy and work with Deb, myself, Dara, and others, and then Tari to get approvals and so on. This is our new logo because we are Lake and Wildlife, but we're also our habitat, trails, and streams. And so this now makes it up. It shows the sky, the trees, the trails, the water. Just trying to explain to people who we are better. And so that you'll see on everything coming up along. I think that's a great achievement, a good step. Today's agenda, we'll welcome new partners, our board liaison report, our committee reports, treasurer's report, a Chris Felt report. Oh no, I'm not a Chris Felt report. Bentry Moonshine by Chris. Chris is here. Chris, good to have you here. Looking forward to the presentation. And as you know, he's here for book signing and purchase too if you'd like to buy it. Board of Directors report, Artie.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good
morning. What a beautiful day. Just a couple of things to talk about. Dredging, more appropriately called spot dredging. We really haven't made any progress. We're waiting on staff to come up with some numbers on what it's going to cost. And then we'll take those numbers and develop a long-range plan based on the fact that we've got $100,000 a year budgeted for that. So this is very important. It's just not urgent. So we're working on it. The Creekside, that's the name that we've temporarily selected for the possible development on the 28 acres down at on Cove Road. Making a lot of progress, doing a lot of homework, and soon we'll be scheduling a couple of town hall meetings so that you can get all the details, ask all the questions, and that'll be followed by a community vote. That'll be a change to the CCRs. So pretty excited about that. Based on what I know, I completely support this project. This is going to be good for Bentry. And lastly, in Friday News yesterday, Sandra Stewart and Margie Robinson wrote an article requesting anyone who's interested in running for the board to put your name in the hat. Now I know every one of you is interested in learning more about Bentry, and there is no better way to learn more about Bentry than to serve on the board. You'll learn more than you ever wanted to know about Bentry.
What you don't want. Hey, Artie, you don't mind if I put my name in the hat, do you?
Do what?
You don't mind if I put my name in the hat for running?
Anybody can put their name in the hat. So, thank you.
Thank you, Artie.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thanks very much. And I know there is that learning tree or learning session too. That's leadership before that for the month of May too for anyone that wants to join the board, which is an excellent way to learn about Bentry. Okay, we'll go to some committee updates. First of all, fundraising. Of course, our most important income we have is from Tamarack Treasures. And I think there's a slide I have. Deb, I think you wanted to come up and talk and just say a couple words, right? Yeah. No, you run up here by the, John's got it set up so the mic here pulls all the stuff down, so we have to stay up here.
I got to be up here because I got a fancy slide this time that Teresa Hoppy did for us. Tamarack Treasures is 3 weeks from today, and we just wanted to remind you all that donations will be accepted those 4 days going into that week, April 21st through 24th, 10 a.m. to noon. We've got big teams that have already signed up to come help with that. So home decor, kitchen, sporting goods, outdoor gear. New department we sort of waded into or tiptoed into last time is called the garage. Bruce Parker is going to head that up for us. So items that you have in garage, yard tools. I know we've already got a reel mower that's been donated. So those kind of items we would appreciate. Books, toys, games, puzzles, any of those kinds of things. If you have a question about whether or not it's something you should donate, feel free to holler at me. I think my name right now is on every social media around here with my phone number. So feel free to call me. I'm also in the directory, so you can reach me there. We also have opportunities for people to volunteer at this event. There are 211 volunteer slots available for that week, starting from donations through our cleanup. Right now, 153 of those slots have been filled. If you've already signed up, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It means also that you probably won't get a personal phone call from me because I still have 58 spots available for people. These are almost exclusively to work during the sale. Some are sitting in a department, just chatting with your friends and neighbors as they come through. Some are helping our cashiers. We also have many slots available for our holding area, and this is for our shoppers that we love, whose arms are overflowing with treasures, so they can take them and drop them off at our holding area. You get a box assigned to you. You can come back and get your box when you're done shopping. So we need people for that area as well. If you have questions about any of the opportunities, please see me. I've got a nice little sign-up sheet here. I can sign you up while you're here today to do that, and you'll get an email confirmation of that. But this is a really great way to meet your friends and neighbors. It's very social. It's a lot of fun. It's not that onerous. It also gives you an opportunity to make sure that you're here on site when Michael and Kathy Daly, Chef Daly, is going to be providing some really upscale, we're calling it Tastes of Tamarack. And there's going to be a pulled pork barbecue and a martini cup that's just amazing. We got to taste test it. Some barbecued shrimp in a martini glass, and then key lime parfaits as well. Those are going to be available for sale during the sale. There are only 50 of each being done, so be here when it opens at 5:30. All of the proceeds from that will be going to Lake and Wildlife. It's really an extension of the bakery, an idea that Luann had come up with for this sale to not only feed our shoppers, but also BTAC at the same time is going to be having an amazing sunset music event. Stay for that, and the food will be available to them. And lastly, if you don't have anything to donate and you don't have time to volunteer or that's not really your thing, please come shop the sale. We're going to be here from 3 p.m. till 9 p.m. Saturday, April 26th, and then we'll be here for the half-price sale from 1:30 to 3 on Sunday. And we're hoping everything's gone at the end of the day Sunday so we don't have to pack it up. So anyhow, I'll be here after the meeting too if you have any questions. And I appreciate all of you that have already given so much support. It means a great deal to all of us. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Deb. Great new ideas this year, Tamarack Treasures. The food and combination with BTAC and their pool night. And then there will be a lot of stuff on the intro side as you come in on Lake and Wildlife. And more exposure to Lake and Wildlife, who we are, what we are, the committees, nature, different things like that. So there's going to be a lot of exposure which is going to be added this year for Lake and Wildlife there. Just to let people know who we are and get some more volunteers, and that'll be a great thing. A lot of good input, Deb, from your team. A lot of great input. Also, hanging baskets. Let's not forget hanging baskets this Thursday, April 10th, 11 to 1 at the cottage. Ooh, come on, Brian. You're getting behind yourself. That'll be at the cottage. So we've emailed most everybody. We'll finish emailing everyone who has ordered to be there. And the orders will be there. And there will be a number of us there to help organize. And Andy and Marietta will be there and help us also. And so this year we did quite well. You'll see some numbers, but hanging baskets, 227 baskets. And it was a little over $4,100. Last year we did about 4,500. So it's pretty good. And there was about 70 orders, right, Jim? I think about 70 orders we got, so 70 emails to people, right, Jim? He's been handling the follow-up on that. But it was a good sale, a very good sale. Okay. Marietta and Andy are both out in the Carolinas today, and he said that he couldn't be here, and Marietta either, but that the May plantings and things that he has coming up, he just wanted to let you know he'll be in touch to get volunteers to help him plant and get things landscaped, and wishes us well. I told him I wish him and all well with that wedding coming up, and he says, don't ask. I can't say what else he said. But anyway, wildlife, Miguel, if you could come up and just give us any little updates you have on the
Yes, sir.
noisy beach.
So my sidekick, Eldon, is not there today. He bailed out on me, so I'm gonna bear with me. I'm driving solo now. But anyway, last month, we talked about the coming of spring and how some animal migrations happen because of the season. And I read this past week a study from the National Wildlife Federation that migrations are happening, but not necessarily because of the seasons, but because of environmental reasons. Habitats are being lost at an alarming rate all over, both in the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. So animals are migrating just because they are hungry and they cannot eat where they used to be. So now, whatever I told you last month, forget about it. Okay. Locally, the bears are coming out. The fawns are starting to be born. Geese are out there nesting, and turkeys are mating. Things seem to be pretty healthy, but we need to be very careful. There are going to be youngsters around, and snakes are coming out as well to take advantage of the sun. So let's be extra careful with the way we drive and where we step. Okay, and that's all I have, Brian.
Fire, thanks, Miguel. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a very interesting spring, to say the least, and I know even from Dara's standpoint in the habitat, because of all the tornadoes and all the hurricanes that tore everything up, all the plants are rising, the new sprouts are in panic. Right. Like, oh God, what happened? There's none of this, and they tend to give off more pollen, more seeds, and so that's why we have this big jump in pollen too that is happening throughout, the Carolinas, Georgia, Florida. They're trying to make up for that loss, and it's only Mother Nature, right? So, okay, lake and streams. Huff, I know you have a couple things to say. If you want to come on up, I will get you there.
If you look on the left, the picture on the left, this is a proposed cleaning deck that's going to go to Sally Doss Dock. We have approval from the AC committee. We are awaiting presentation and approval from the board. And the cleaning dock itself will have a battery, a water pump to provide water, high pressure water, so people can clean fish and clean up afterwards. And the purpose of it is not only to provide a place for people to clean fish, but we're trying as hard as we can to get as many of the small bass out of the lake and all of the spotted bass possibly out of the lake. The biologists that help us here with the lake say we are inundated with too many fish, thus not enough food, thus we're inundated with small fish. And so we're making an effort to remove all the spotted bass and to remove any bass, largemouth, that's 14 inches or less. So this is a way that we think will help people who are maybe a little lazy about, well, I don't want to take them home and clean them, I don't know what to do with them. They can clean their fish right there on the dock, wash everything off, and have some nice clean fish to take home. So that's what our thoughts are. And the next picture you'll see on the right, if you can see it, that's a square of panel fencing, and it's at the mouth of the open pipe that goes under the spillway into and over the waterfall and down below the lake. We are required for the dam permit to have a certain amount of cubic feet of water flowing to help the invertebrates in the creek below us. That's one of the ways that we could get the dam built. And Ashley tells me that we actually have more water flowing today than is necessary, but we have a 50-to-1 ratio of water charge coming into the lake, so it's not a concern of using too much water. But what it's created is there's a square now of fencing, and if you look down in the square, there's a whirlpool. And so I caught, I don't know, 8 or 10 little spot tail the other day. I took one, all of them alive, took one, once around, boom, down. Once around, boom, down. All of them ate. So this was without talking to Ashley. So I ran into Ashley at the administration building and told him what I was doing. He said he thinks it's a perfect use of it. He said the water flow is so fast, there's nothing you could do to hinder it. And he's all in favor of using that to dispose of fish instead of releasing these little fish back in the lake. That's a good way to move them on, keep them alive. And even if they die, that something's going to feed on them down the creek or something. So I'm recommending people to please don't release the spots, don't release small bass. Let's get them out of the lake and get the numbers and the population back where they should be. Yesterday, just coincidentally, my good fishing buddy Gerald Hunter had a guest up here, and if y'all look at the Bent Tree fishing page, they had a stringer of 18 fish that were remarkable. I mean, really good fish. And if you look at the fishing page, I keep posting things. We've got some 6-pound bass, some 7-pound bass being caught. The fishing is excellent right now. A lot of fish being caught at one time, but a lot of them are the small spotted bass. Don't throw them back in the lake. You know, let's get them out of the lake somehow. But the fishing is excellent. We filled all the feeders yesterday, so we've got 13 feeders, 3 on the docks, which are primarily for the children to be able to go on the dock and catch fish, and I threw a little handful out just to see what was happening, and like they were sitting there waiting on us, boom, boom, boom. So we starting them off at 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock for 1 second only. It doesn't sound like much, and it's not much, but the last thing we want to do is pollute the lake with unused food. So we want to make sure that all the food is eaten before we increase it to 2 seconds. In a matter of weeks, we'll be 3 seconds 3 times a day. Notice that the times 8, 12, and 5, that's really for the cool weather, the cool water. During the dog days of summer, we'll change it to probably 7, 9, 3, and 5, and get away from the hot part of the middle of the day. Just technique is all it is. But those feeders have proven to be very, very successful. And I know you've seen pictures of kids on the dock catching fish and so forth, and it's something that's been very helpful. 3 of them belong to Bent Tree, and 10 of them are ones that are owned by different owners along the lake. And they've bought the feeders, and they've been monitoring them and feeding them and using them, and every one of them is paid off very, very well. So anyhow, good report from the fishing. Let's get all those small fish out there if we can.
Thank you, Huff. Great job on the fishery. Great job on that lake. Just a couple other items on the lake. Number one, this year again, we'll be putting those small pellets in the lake just to protect the beach area from the chance there may be some of those little leeches in there that we had last year. So if anyone wants to know, yes, we're gonna do that and put those back in the beach area for those 3 or 4 months that we did last year, just to protect the kids and the swimmers. Huff is in charge of that and did a great job, him and Kevin O'Brien, and he'll do it again this year, so, thank you. Monitoring the streams was fantastic. We had to do macros, we had to do regular chemical, and we did physical, which now they call habitat survey, and it all came in very well. Mason, myself, Dara, Dave, and Kim Stewart, along with Pamela Henderson, all helped out this month to get all that done. It takes probably about 2 hours a stream to do that at least, so many thanks. But the DO was just in there at 8, 9. Our pH was good at 7. Alkalinity, which is survivability, was great in the 38 to 50 range. Conductivity, allowing it to accept small oxygen, pH, other chemicals was great. And the nitrates and phosphates were very, very low, if none. So we did well. All the habitat scores were good to excellent, which means the area around the streams to support the streams, the animals, the fish, nutrients, and so on. So we're very happy with what happened there and very happy with the stream condition. The restoration, as you know, it continues on, looking at new ways and different ways to do mulligan. We've looked at a couple different things, had a couple consultants in, Ashley, myself, Jim, some board members too. So we're looking at what we can do to solidify the stream banks, keep the sediment out, and not have logs floating in the lake. We got Mother Nature surprised us, but that's okay. As I said, she gets the last at bat. So Artie mentioned dredging, and I'll mention too myself. Artie, of course, Ashley, Jim, are all working together to get those numbers and how to dredge, where to dredge, when to dredge, what to do after, before, how to get there. There's a lot of work going into this, and I know they're working as fast as they can. I talked with Ashley yesterday, and I think that's on track, and it's very, very important. That's all I can say. We'll just keep going. Habitat conservation, Dara?
I'll be real quick. Miguel and I did not plan this, so he set me up really nicely. Thank you.
I just wanted to follow up on carpenter bees, right? So carpenter bees are out, right? We had a program on them a couple months ago. They are out, and now is the time to really put a plan into action to redirect their behavior, right? It's sort of like what you do with a toddler. So what you want to do is when they're out of their holes, from mid-morning to early evening, and they're not in their existing holes, if you don't want them back there because it happens to be your deck or your fence or a place that you don't want them, you want to take the opportunity while they are out to fill that hole with wood putty or a cork, or they sell screen kits, they're called. It's a little Post-it note looking thing that they can't get through. All right, so now they can't go back in that hole. Now they got to find another hole to another place, and that's where the carpenter bee house or the sacrificial piece of wood comes into play, where you want them to go instead. So whether that is the houses that we made here, or if you've replaced a fence post or a post, leave that, like 5-10 feet away. Just lean it against something to help it stand up. They go there. Stay in that if you've replaced it. But this is where you're encouraging to take up residence in another place. If you use wood putty, then you can repaint and seal over that damaged area and make it look like new. So let's see, remember the carpenter bees, if you weren't here, they're the shiny honeys, the bigger bees. They have shiny honeys, not fuzzy butts like the smaller bumblebees do. The males have the white on their face. They're the ones that'll come and fly. Their only defense is intimidation because they do not have a stinger. Those are the males. So without killing the carpenter bees, which I believe conservation begins at home, right? Conservation for all of the habitat loss that's going on in the world is not something that happens in a national park or down the road or over there. It happens in our land, in our yards every day. So the next chance you'll have to redirect the carpenter bees will be in the fall. So take advantage of it now, because once they start nesting, they're going to go back in those same holes, would be their first choice, back in the same hole they came out of. They're going to lay their eggs and their larvae in there. And then if you seal it up, or you put something in there, you're killing the next generation of carpenter bees. And also then inside there is the larva, which is what the woodpeckers want, which is what causes the most damage to the wood when the woodpeckers go after that larva that's in the wood. So now is the time to seal it up so that they don't put larva in the existing hole that they just came out of. So that's it for me for today.
Marge, I would just mention, the reason you don't want to kill the carpenter bees is they're pollinators.
They are.
That's
Absolutely. So I'm sorry if I skipped over that. They have been, I will have a bumper crop of blueberries this year because of the carpenter bees. They have been busy at work out there making blueberries, and I love them for that. They will pollinate tomatoes, and I mean, just anything. If you have a vegetable garden, they're incredible pollinators. They pollinate through the rain and the wind when other ones can't because they're so strong.
And the lights, for vibration. Walk the talk.
Oh, we have Walk the Talk. Oh, I didn't know we had it up there. Oh, thank you for that. Walk the Talk. This is a program we started with BTCI operations to implement best practices in our facilities. So we have in our habitat conservation plan a lot of really good best practices that we're going to start sharing at Tamarack Treasures and really hitting hard on residents to try to get people to know what they are, like the how can I help kind of answers to that question. And then we'll look around and say, well, in some places here in Bent Tree, we're not doing this in our own facilities. And so BTCI said, absolutely, we will partner with you. Let's work together to walk this talk. And so some of the money that we're going to be supporting those efforts in changing processes and practices, including dark sky lighting. We'll be looking at to improve the lighting, security lighting, to make sure it's still secure and people don't trip over things in the parking lot, but that the light is dark sky lighting shines down so it does not impact migrating birds. And bird migration is struggling, and some people say, but that's just a big city thing. Well, it's not really a big city thing. It's an everybody thing. Again, it's not something somebody else needs to change. So now is migration time for birds. Minimize outdoor lighting. Every little bit helps. And you can, if you want to learn more about dark sky certified lighting, we'll have information at Tamarack Treasures on that, among other things. Turn off your lights at night.
As long as you're up here, Dara. As long as you're up here, don't go away.
Okay, I got more. What do I have?
Thank you. Let's go down. Communications.
Oh yeah, communication. So we're going to start taking advantage of the community-wide email distribution. So right now, communications that come from the email address where people have subscribed to Lake and Wildlife Communications only, the from says Bent Tree Lake and Wildlife. All other communications, like for golf or tennis or public safety, they come from, I think it says Bent Tree Community. That's the overall Jonas email list. We're going to be able to take advantage of that to send emails to the entire community. So we'll have two channels, those that go to subscribers to Lake and Wildlife, and then the overall community. And I don't know if anybody had the chance to see any of the reels that I've done. I had to go to my kids to say, teach me how to do this, because to make Instagram reels, and it was really intimidating at first, but I've gotten, lukewarm, not terrible, at least feedback on the first two I did. I put them out on social media, but they're also on the YouTube channel where John does such a great job of having all of our programs on, but there's another tab on YouTube called Shorts, and that's where, so you don't have to be on Facebook or Instagram to get them. That's where these reels will go. And any ideas, you know, the first one I did was on spring ephemerals, and the second one was on the May apples and the concepts of phenology, which is getting all screwed up because of the changes in weather patterns and stuff. But anyway, any feedback on that? Any question you want answered? Seems to be maybe I'll get better at it. Or if anybody wants to be part of one, hey, let's do a reel together, which are like the shorts. What are they called on Facebook? They have another name. I don't know, but it's like a 1 minute long video, to talk about topics. So is that all?
Yep. I just,
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
thanks, Dara. I hate to put those back to back, but as long as you're up here, we thought we'd get you going. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of good things working, and so this is good. Try to move along here. Okay. The Saturday and the Friday emails you'll get continually through Dara, emails, reels. Teresa is involved in sending some of those emails to Terry too, so we're communicating a lot better to different audiences a lot faster, so it's working out very well. Let's go to the trail side renewals, which I'll get to in a minute, but I think something else that happened very important this last month was that Lake and Wildlife partnered with BTAC, the Activities Committee, and decided that we would like to plant a tree for Suzi Creef in her memory. And we had picked a spot, we picked a tree, and got through our committee's approvals. Musette and I worked pretty hard at that, which was interesting. It was great to work together, though, for a common cause. Every time we'd get bogged down or say why, we just say it's for Buddy and Suzi. And so we planted, with the help of BTAC, you'll see some familiar faces, Kevin, Warren, Bill, this beautiful, it's about an 8-foot magnolia, and it's right over here on the other side of the Lake Pavilion up on the hill, and it is surviving well and being watered and cared for. And so working together, I think this was a great idea, a great cause, and Buddy, I know you're here, and every day we say thank you, Buddy, but thank you for your patience, thank you for understanding, thank you for caring for Susan. And you and I both lost our wives, but it's a different passage and it's a different walk. And all we can say is we're here with you on the walk. And if you need anybody here, anybody support, we're here for you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Jim, would you like to come up and just say a thing or two about your current sign renewals?
Yeah, I have to go up front.
We got to get you in practice for this, Jim.
So the signage you see behind me is the Beaver Run Trail, and we have different people that sponsors signs for our various trails in the neighborhood, in the community, and so sponsorship is a 3-year commitment, a 3-year period for a $400 donation, one time for the 3-year period. And so we're at that point in time where we're getting renewals, asking people who have sponsored the signs if they would like to continue. And so we're working through that process now. We have a couple of signs that are look like they're going to be available. If you are interested in joining that process and sponsoring a sign, please see Brian or myself, and we'll be happy to talk with you more about that if you have any questions. So that's all I have. We should be probably sending something out, making some contact. I think the last time we talked, said we had one person that was on a waiting list that wanted to sponsor, but it looks like we're going to have a couple of signs available. So if you are interested, please see one of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. Nice revenue source that we have. I'll go back up just for a second here. Trails, just quickly, Mason, if you'd like to just talk about that today.
Well, I don't remember if the Orange Trail had been completed. I think it might have been completed or just barely completed at the last meeting that we had. But the Orange Trail at Chestnut Cove is completed. We've received really good feedback from the people that have hiked it. I got a surprising selfie from a couple that hiked the top of the Yellow Trail, and I was shocked that they made it. Because that's a rather steep trail, but we've got benches at the top of the Orange Trail and benches at the top of the Yellow Trail for people to take a rest after they conquer it. And everybody needs to get out there and give it a shot. The Orange Trail is my favorite because we put a lot of time and effort into that. Thank Warren for helping me drag the bench to the top of the Yellow Trail. That was a tough ask there, and I really appreciate it. This afternoon, or this morning after this meeting, we're going to have a work day at Sally Doss Trails. We've got 4 small loads of mulch that need to get spread. So if anybody can bring wheelbarrows, pitchforks, garden rakes, that kind of thing, that would help with that. We're also going to be washing down the metal handrail on the all-access walkway, just to get all the algae off of it. And so 5-gallon buckets would be appreciated, and rags. It's just going to be hand washing that to get the green algae off. That's pretty much it for the trails update at this point. The hiking club's next hike is next Wednesday. It is at Don Carter State Park. There's a notice in the Friday News about it with a link to the trail maps. You'll be able to see Lake Lanier from one of the trails. The trails there are all moderate to easy, I believe, and it's only about a 4.5-mile hike, so it should be an enjoyable day. I think that's it for right now.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Trails volunteers, obviously, many people working, helping today, last week. The Tamarack Treasurers, I know Deb will be in touch, and of course Trail Day today. Next, the Treasurer's Report, and Denise is not able to be here today. She's in Florida, but our beginning balance on January is $18,787. Our revenue year-to-date was $57,477, which was mostly revenue from the trail sign renewals and the hanging baskets is in there. Expenses year-to-date were $10,107. And that includes the $8,500, which was brought over from last year that needed to be paid. But our ending balance, most important, $14,426. So we're in good shape financially.
You want to explain what the $10,000 the expenses were?
Sure. This is a little tricky one, you know. You had $8,500, which came over from last year. That was for benches and a whole bunch of other stuff. That was in the 18, and that had to be paid as part of that. That was the biggest chunk of that.
What's the rest of it?
The other 1,500 payments and checks, I can say that most of that was some of the trail sign maintenance, some of the work in the streams, as well as some of the cups for the newcomers, those kinds of things. I can get you more detail if you want. Dara?
The plants for the spillway area?
Okay, upcoming education, May, snakes, June, Mark Warren, July, of course, no meeting, August, we have marble mining. In September, we're gonna have a Firewise safety seminar and session with Michael Corey. October, we'll have fall. Well, might come back if we can get them back in again, if you want to go to fall. And a volunteer fair is part of that, and of course, December is our annual report from June prior, so. November's still open, we'll fill that in. I know we need you, we need volunteers, we need people that you know to come and help and be with us. Let us know at BentreeLakeandWildlife.com. Chris is chomping at the bit. I know you're waiting to hear Chris talk about moonshine. Moonshine.